we can then start creating our pop-up form. And now we can be able to reset the brand data. So that means it is going to cancel everything and you can start again from scratch. So we are not going to do that. We are going to go in and create our pop-up form. So now when we go into forms and we click on other forms, it is going to take us to this page where we can be able to set our pop-up form. Then you click on create form, and when you click on create new form, it is going to ask you for the kind of form you want to create. We've created embedded form already and we've embedded it on our website. So now let's see how we can be able to create a pop-up form. So when you click on create pop-up form, it is going to take you to this place where you can be able to add what your pop-up form is going to be doing. So are you creating pop-up form for discounts or for free shipping or for free content or free consultation? Whatever it is you want to do, you can select all of their templates also, and you can be able to view all of the templates that they currently have inside of Mailchimp. So when you take a look at these templates, you take a look at the one that is going to fit for your business, or the one that you will be able to add. Maybe if you want to collect all of the emails, or you want to collect just if you want to collect all of their details, or you just need the email, you can also do that. You can pick whatever template works for you. So let's select a simple template we can use. I'm looking for a very simple template. Yeah, let's pick this one. So when we pick that template, as you can see, it is asking us for the name of our template. So we can say this is freebie for YouTube. Okay, so we can name this freebie for YouTube, and we can decide that we can decide the particular audience that these people will be going to when they fill in their address. So as you can see, it is going into CRM instructors, and you can also pick any other audience you currently have or the ones you have created. So when you pick your audience, you can also select email address, which is going to be picking which means we are going to be collecting the email address from the people that are filling in our pop-up form. So now we can also say, okay, so now we can also change the templates, whereby you can be able to change to another template. If you currently do not like this template, how it looks like, you can change it. So let's create this form and let's see how it is going to look like. So when you click on create form, as you can see, it has already added it into this place, and it is also showing how it is going to show up on my website. And that is because I have already added in my website inside of here, crminstructors.com, and as you can see, it is adding it. It is showing us how it is going to look like a preview. So what we want to do is we want to start setting up this pop-up form to adjust it to fit our business. So what you are going to do is you are going to start with the first one. So we have the first one, which, and as you can see, the steps are also here. The first one is the offer, where it is showing us what we are offering to these people. So we can change because we've added in our logo for the brand kits. It has already brought in our logo here, the primary logo. You can change it also if you want. You can also change this image. So when you click on the particular thing you want to change, Mailchimp is going to help you bring all of the things you can change by the right hand side. So you can select what you want to change by the left hand side, and it's going to bring all of the settings by the right hand side. Okay, so for instance, if we want to edit the copy container, we can do that. If you click on logo, it is going to take us to the place where we can edit our logo. So we can replace the brand kit, the logo from the brand kit if we want, and we can select all other logos that we have, and it's also going to like change that in. As you can see, it brought in the white one, and you can also decide to replace it again and pick another logo that you've added in your brand kit already. So when you do that, you can also be able to edit the background. You can do all of the settings for your particular logo. So the same thing applies for the header. The header is the font, the text in here. If you want to edit this text, you can also do that by you can cancel all of this and just bring in your own text. So we can say something like subscribe. So let's say we want to say something like subscribe for free, and we can also decide that we want to change this font. That means we're changing this button. Sorry, that means we're working on this button, and to do that, you just need to click on your primary city in here, and you can decide to adjust anything you want to adjust. So let's say we want to change the font, this text in here, and we want to change this to subscribe now. Subscribe now. So that has been changed, and you can also decide to change the font. You can see here where you can be able to change the font color to whatever it is you want to use, and when you do that, you can change that. So for the text, you can decide to add in a text border. You can add in a text shadow if you want. You can also click on the button to change the color of the button. So let's say you do not want to use this color here, so you can select the particular color you want to use, and you can just use that particular color for your button here. So we can also change this one if you want. Instead of using the what's it called, the outlined one, we can change it and we can use the particular button you want to use. So you can also decide that you want to change the body of this container. You can make it partial or you can make it full screen. If you are making it partial, that means your website is still going to be showing under, and it is not going to be a full screen pop-up form. So you can also decide that you want the image to be at the bottom. You can also change the image by clicking on the image, and you can click on replace image, and you can be able to pick the particular image you want to use for your pop-up form. So let me see if I can select one. Okay, so I'm changing my image now, and that should come in a second. Yeah, so my image has been changed, and as you can see, this is the current image that has been replaced. And also do not forget that you can also change the body of this background. Instead of using the color that is currently in there, you can say that you want to change this to I actually like this color, but you can actually change it to whatever it is you want. So let's pick, oh no, uh, no, yeah, so let's use something like this one is actually very okay. So you can use your, make sure to use your brand color if you want to actually do this. Just copy the color code of your color, and you can be able to replace the color code inside of this place here. You can also decide to edit the overlay, and you can change that to whatever it is you want. So like I said, you can also increase it to small or you can increase it to large. You can also decide that you do not want image, and you can turn that off, and that is going to remove the image. But you can turn it on if you actually want the image in your pop-up form. And yeah, you can also decide that, okay, this is the color for this is our brand color we just added in. You can also use the brand color if you want. So yeah, so that is for the first one. When we go back to all step, as you can see, it actually edited the whole of your pop-up page. So whatever you do for the first page is going to affect everything. So if you click on this place here where it is showing the follow-up, that is the button that is going to show up for the pop-up form. You can also decide to adjust that by where is it, yeah. Oh yeah. So you can decide to adjust everything about the follow-up also. You can also decide to adjust the email capture where you can be able to get the email from the subscribers on your website. So let's say we want to copy this, we want to use this same text. And remember that you can also change the font of this text. You can use whatever fonts you have in here. As you can see, they have various fonts that you can use inside of this place. You can also decide that you want to go back to the email capture and we want to use this. So let me copy this. Yeah, I'm changing that to subscribe for free. And as you can see, we're asking them for their email address, and when you click on the email address place, you can be able to edit all of these things. So you can see where the email address is going to go in, definitely email address. And you can see the button where you can be able to edit this and maybe to change it to subscribe or move to the next step, or you can write whatever it is you want. You can also change the button overlay, I mean the button over, and you can change the normal color also. So when they over on it, what color is going to show up, you can be able to adjust that in here. You can also see the body of the, you can see the body of the what's it called, the body of the form, and you can also adjust the color if you do not currently like the color that you have in here. So that is for the email capture, which is the next step. Then for the third step, as you can see over here, we can also be able to adjust this and just use yeah, we can leave this the way it is, but you can change the fonts, you can change the text. For this, you can change also the text inside of this place is showing the discount actually. I do not want discount code, so I'll take it off. I want this off. Yeah, so I do not want that in, so I'm just going to cancel this, and I'm just going to type in, let me type in thank you. Yeah, So thank you, then click on go back to site. So now here is something I actually missed and it's actually very, very important. So for the first step where we can be able to see the button, for the button in here, we can see that when they click on this button, we can ask them to move to the next stage, which is the email capture. So before we can be able to use this button, we have to select wherever this button is going to lead to. So when you click on select button, as you can see, it is showing the appearance of the button where you can make all of this adjustment, and you can also be able to see the button action where you can decide where this button is going to go. So for this form or for this pop-up form, it is going to go to the next step. But if you do not want it to go to the next step, you can actually decide that you want it to go to a particular URL. So you can use go to URL and you can add in the link to the URL. So for instance, if they click on subscribe now, you want them to go to a particular landing page where they can be able to fill out the form. You can also use that, or you can say that you want them to go to your website or wherever it is you want them to go to. And if you click on the add action again, you can decide that you want to capture data. But since we are not collecting any data here like email name, we cannot use capture data. Or you can even decide to close the step. That means if they click on subscribe now, it is going to close that particular step. That's not realistic, because if you want them to subscribe now, you want them to subscribe to something. So the best place for them to go to in this action now is just to go to the next step, which has been added in already. So as you can see, when you click on cancel and you click on add action, you can actually do all of this. You can also set user property if you want, and say that when they click on subscribe now, you, or when they put in their information, you want to make the list source to be a particular thing, or you want to make the list status to be something particular. So you can actually do that. So let's see how we can, yeah, the next button, sorry. So for the next button, we can also say that the action is going to be leading to a particular thing. So in case they do not want the pop-up, they can say no thanks, I do not want. And when they say no thanks, it is going to close the pop-up and they're not going to see it again on the website. So you can also decide to add another action that if they say no thanks, you can lead them to another landing page where you're trying to like convince them or something. But the reasonable thing to do actually is just to close that step. If they say no, they do not want it, then yeah, they do not want it. So you just cancel this, and when you go to the next step, which is the one for where we are going to be collecting their details, we can then decide that when we click on this button, which is the continue, when we click on it, as you can see, you can change the color, you can change all of this, and we are using the primary CTA over here. You can also decide to use the second CTA that is already in our brand kit if you want, and you can also decide that the button action is going to be that we want to capture data. Since we are collecting their data, which is their email address, if you are collecting name, email address, or whatever it is you are collecting, you can also decide that you want to capture that data into Mailchimp. So this is the particular step you are going to use, or the particular action you're going to be using for this pop-up button. So when you click on capture data, it is going to help you capture the data into Mailchimp itself. So you can also decide that you want to add in a tag, whereby you can be able to add in a tag for that particular email. So if you have an email coming and they say they want to subscribe for free, you can tag this. Oh, I do not. So we can quickly create a tag here. Oh, I do not have tag for CRM instructor. So let me just create a tag here and let me just name them YouTube contact, and I click on create, and that is going to create the tag. I do have tag. Oh, it's for the second one. Okay, so when I come over here and I click on refresh, that should bring out my tags. Okay, so the reason why my tag is not showing is because we have not added for the subscribe now, we've not added the particular audience we want to use. Okay, so for the button action for button 2, we can for the second page, we can decide that it should capture the data, yes, and it should also go to the next step after capturing that data. So we can also decide to add in a tag for the button. So when they come in, we can say that we want to name this tag maybe YouTube leads or whatever it is you want to name it. You can also add that tag in, or let's just add in YouTube. So to add in that tag, I need to click on manage tag, where I can be able to create my new tag. So if I click on manage tag over here, it is currently under email marketing lead. Yeah, so I'm going to create a new tag and I'm going to add in the tag name in here, and I'm going to click on create, and that is going to create that tag. And I can come over to this place and I can click on, let me cancel this. I can click on refresh here, and that is going to refresh that. And as you can see, my YouTube is already showing up here. So when I click on that, that has been added. I can also decide to add in another option, where another action where I can decide that if you are coming in into this pop-up form, I want to be able, if you are coming in into this pop-up form, I want to be able to set a user property. So let's set an audience field. We can say the name of that should be, oh, or let's use okay, let's use groups. I don't think I have group. Yeah, oh my god, I don't have groups. So you can create something like the lead status or the lead source, and you can select the name of the field, maybe lead status or whatever it is, and you can say that the lead status should be new if they're coming from YouTube, or maybe the lead status is contacted, or whatever it is you want to use. You can actually use that. So when you are done, you can also go back to your third page, which is the thank you page, where they'll be going back to the site. Like I said, you can adjust this, and you can click on this button here to add the actions for the button. So the button action here is when they click on go back to site, it should close the step and it should still go back to the website. So you can also decide to add another action if you want. Maybe if they click on go back to site, you want them to go to the home page of your website, or you want them to go to an analytic Google analytic event, or you want to add in a custom code. Whatever it is you want to do, you can actually do that. So when you are done with all of these and you made sure that everything is set up properly, and you make sure that the color is what you want to use, the buttons are setting the buttons are working the way they are supposed to work, then you can click on preview. When you try to preview it on your website, since we've added in CNM instructors, we can see how it is going to look like on CNM instructors website. So when you click on preview, as you can see, it is going back to my website. It's going back to CNM instructors. Okay, you can preview locally if you want, just to see how it is going to look like on your website. So when you click on preview locally, as you can see, this is how it is going to look like. And when they click on subscribe now, it is going to take them to the page where they can put in their email address. And when they put in their email address and they click on continue, it is going to take them to the last page where they can be able to say thank you, go back to site, and it is going to take them back to the website. So that is for that. Oh yeah, so the thing is, for the follow-up form, or the follow-up pop-up, let's see it here. Okay, so for the follow-up place, we can be able to change this font in here. So I want to change this to, oh my god, I want to rewrite this text. So let's use, instead of claim 15% off, let's use subscribe to our YouTube channel. So we've changed this little button here. It is the one that will be showing up on your website, and when people click on that button, it is going to bring out the pop-up form. So you can change the text to whatever you want. You can also decide to edit the button, where you change the over button, or you change the color of the button to whatever it is you want to use. When you change that, that should change. Okay, so you can change the color to whatever it is you want. So let's use red. I don't know if that is even okay. Yeah, we can also decide to use the button actions, where it is going to go into the main step, which is step 2, where they can be able to submit their email. So after that, we click on save and review. But as you can see, it is saying here that we need to review one issue. So let's see the issue we need to remove and review. Okay, it's saying that we need to, I want to remove the discount since we are not using discount. So I'm just going to take that off. Oh, okay. Okay, so I'm still going to use subscribe to our YouTube channel here. Yep. Okay, I think that has been solved. So we can click on save and review after making sure that everything is working perfectly the way it should. And when you click on save and review and you come over here, you can be able to do your pop-up settings. So for your pop-up settings, you can decide which particular site this pop-up is going to be showing up in. So you click on the edit site setting, and you can be able to check the connection, or you can reconnect connection. Okay, so let's say we want to reconnect the site. So we will just click on reconnect site, which is going to take us to this place where we can is going to give us the instruction on how to add this code on our website so that the pop-up can show on our website. Or we can just click on check connection, where it is going to take us to the page where we can be able to add in multiple connections that we want. So let's say we want to, instead of using CRM instructors, you can even add another um website that you currently have for your business. So if you click on this, it is checking the connection and it is saying whatever it's wrong with this. Like let's say it's saying that it's not finding the script in here, and yes, that is because we've not set that up. So now this is going to apply to if you're using Wix or if you're using WordPress. It is the same process actually. So if you click on your reconnect site, you copy this code and you're going to paste it on the header code of your website. So I use those sites and I'm going to take you through how to use it. Remember that this is the same process you are going to use if you're using Wix, WordPress, Squarespace, whatever website builder you're using. This is the same process you are going to use, even if it's a landing page builder. Okay, so let's copy this code over here and we are going to go back into my Zoho site. I use Zoho site, and when we come into my Zoho site page, and I'm going to go to the header code of my Zoho site and I'm going to add this code in it. So I'm going to click on header code and I'm going to paste the code inside of this place. The same thing applies if you're using Wix. Look for the header code of your main website and add that in. So when you add that in, you click on save. And when you click on save, you also want to go back to the particular page that you want this pop-up to show up in. So if you come back to, let me show you something. If you come back to Mailchimp, as you can see here, we are using crminstructors.com, which is our home page. So you have to make sure that that is the page you are going to be adding that particular code in. So we are going to go back here, and since we've added it in our header code, so let's go back to the pages of our website. Then we are going to add our header code again in the page, in that particular page which we have added for the website. So we are going to come to the home page here and we are going to click on edit page info, and we go into the header code and we are going to paste the code in here also. So we are going to click on save, and when you click on save, that has been saved for the home page. That has been saved, and we're going to publish this page. So when we publish this website as a whole, make sure that you publish the website after you've added in all of the codes you've added in. Make sure you publish it. It is actually very important. If you do not publish it, the code is not going to work inside of Mailchimp. Okay, yeah, so I actually skipped something. So before we can be able to hit publish, we have to make sure that we add our code to an element inside of our website. So for instance, if you're using Wix, just look for the code snippets or the embed iframe, whichever one is going to work for your particular website. Then you just drag in the code snippet inside of your website and you copy and paste that code inside. So let's say we want to add in another snippet and we want to name this Mailchimp pop-up form. Yeah, so it's going to create another blank page where we can be able to add these code snippets in. So in those sites, they allow us to be able to add code snippets for each of the things that we are adding, so that you can be able to add them into your website. So for instance, all of these code snippets were coming from my past tutorials like Brevo form, all of these things. So those sites can be different from yours, but it's just going to allow you to have a blank page where you can be able to paste the code from Mailchimp. So when you click on OK, that should already have in the code snippet. You should update that. Then you click on publish. You go back, after you've clicked on publish, you can go back into Brevo and you are going to see that your connection is done. So if you click on check connection, as you can see, it's already connected because I followed that process. So now my pop-up form can now be shown inside of my website because I already followed the process where I added in the code into the header code, the header code of the main website, and also the header code of that particular page, crminstructor.com, that home page itself. I added that code in the header page. I'll be the header code. I also added that code in a code snippet inside of my website. I hope it's not confusing. Yeah, but it is actually very simple if you follow the process I followed. So you can also decide that you want to exclude some target pages, and you can say that some URL in your website, if it's containing a particular thing, or if it's containing or it doesn't match any of this thing, you can also exclude all of those URL. So we can say that if it is cnminstructor.com/consultation call, do not include in that page, or if it is cnminstructor.com/about us, do not include the pop-up form on that page. So we can also set up that. And now when we click on since we do not want to add that, we can just cancel this. So it is saying now that this pop-up form is going to appear on all of the pages of CRM instructors. We are allowing that, so we are just going to leave that, and we click on save. When we click on save, that has been saved. And now we are saying that we should see this new pop-up form. So we can edit this and say that only new visitors can see this pop-up form. So that means if someone is just coming into our website newly, they can be able to see this pop-up form when it comes in into the website. Or we can say that all of the visitors should actually see this pop-up form. And when you click on all of the visitors, even if they visited the website yesterday and they come back in today, they are still going to see this pop-up form. And you can also add another condition and say that if the traffic source is a particular place, they can see that what's it called, the pop-up form. You can also say, or if the number of section is greater than if the number of section is greater than 10. So that means they've come into your site like 10 times and they did not fill the pop-up form, please do not show them the pop-up form again. Or you can say that if the geolocation is a particular country, so if you want this pop-up form to be hidden from everyone in Nigeria, or you want the pop-up form to be hidden from everyone from United States or from Germany, you can add that particular country. Oh, sorry, I made a mistake. It is not hidden. It is to make sure that if you are using you are saying that if the geolocation is a particular country, it should show up. But if it is not, it should not show up. That means it's not going to show up for that particular country. Okay, so the next thing, when you are done with all of these conditions, as you can see, they have a lot of conditions that you can include. For instance, you can say if the data type is, maybe if it's phone or tablet, you want the pop-up form to show up. If you do not want to show up, just omit it to whatever it is you are adding, and just omit it, and it's not going to show up in there. You can also say that if the data captured is any of email address or phone number has already been captured inside of the CRM more than one time in the lifetime, you can decide that do not show up the pop-up form again. So these settings are actually very important, because pop-up forms can actually be very annoying to people that are using your website. And so that, just to make sure that if they've submitted their details, you do not need to show the pop-up form again. There is no need why you should show the pop-up form after someone has submitted their details. It's not necessary. So that is why you need to add in all of these conditions also. So when you're done with all of those conditions, just click on save, and that is going to save your pop-up form. And you can edit the trigger to show when this pop-up form is going to show up on your website. So you can say that in 10 seconds of them being on your website, you want this pop-up form to show up. And you can say that it should show up on the phone, tablet, or desktop. You can also decide that you do not want the pop-up form to show up on the phone, so you can take that off if you want. And you can also add in another trigger if you want, and you can say if there's an inactivity of maybe 5 seconds and they're still on the page, and there is an inactivity, they've not moved at all on the website, then they can also show up that pop-up form. You can also decide that you want to add in another trigger, and you can say maybe you want to say a exist intent. So that means if they're trying to exit from the page and they're trying to leave the website, the pop-up form should show up on the desktop. So some of these conditions can only be fulfilled on certain devices, so you have to make sure that whatever you're setting up is what you want. So when you're done, you click on save, and that has been added. You can also decide to edit this content for A and B tests. We do not need that. So for the advanced settings, you can also see all of the advanced settings you can see. You can say that you should end pop-up after a current section, that is for section handler. Or you can say that you should end pop-up after 7 days. Or you can even say that you should not trigger for certain conditions. So just look through all of these things that you have in here and just set that up for your advanced settings. So when you're done, you click on publish. So you can click on publish or schedule. So if you do not want this pop-up form to show up immediately, you can schedule it into the future. If you're having maybe a conference and that pop-up form is for the conference, and the conference is coming by the end of June, and you want the pop-up also to start by the beginning of June, you can schedule that pop-up form so that it is going to show on your website at a particular date. This is actually amazing because you can create different pop-ups for different events, and you can schedule those pop-up forms to show up the days before that event. But if you want to publish now, you can click on publish now, and you click on publish now. That is going to publish your pop-up form. So now if you go back to the website and you try to refresh, let's see if our pop-up form is going to show up. Remember that we need to use 10 seconds on the website. So if we use 10 seconds of this website, this pop-up form should show up on our website. And as you can see, here is our pop-up form. Wow, that was amazing. So you can see our pop-up form here, and you can click on cancel if you want. But if they want to subscribe to anything, if they click on subscribe now, it is going to take them to where they can put in their email address, and they can click on continue. And when they click on continue, it is going to say thank you, and it is going to say back to site. So because we want this to show up for every of our visitor, as you can see, it came up again. So it can be annoying to users. So you want to make sure that after they've cancelled it, by the settings we just talked about, where we talked about where you can be able to adjust the settings for new visitors, or or past section. Currently in a section for a day, just remove the pop-up form. There is no need to show this every time. So when they click on cancel, make sure it's not showing up again. And as you can see, this is the follow-up button we adjusted on our page in our Mailchimp account. Yeah, so when they click on this, as you can see, the pop-up form is going to show up, and they can cancel this also. So this is how to create pop-up form and embed it on your website inside of Mailchimp. I know this was a lot, especially with the back and forth, but trust me, if you follow this process, you are going to get it. And also, this is a reminder to everyone that have not subscribed to this channel. I know you are getting amazing content like this, and we will actually encourage you to subscribe to this channel, because it is going to go a long way in helping us to be able to post amazing content like this. So do not forget to subscribe to this channel. So that is it for this tutorial. I hope this walkthrough gave you practical clarity on how you can be able to set up this part of Mailchimp more effectively. Now, if you are part of a business team, or a marketing department, or an agency, or you simply want more structure, hands-on guidance for yourself or for your team, we offer Mailchimp training sections designed around your own actual business workflow. So instead of you just learning random features, we help you understand how to use Mailchimp properly for your own specific business process. So this is especially helpful and useful if multiple people are working inside of the same Mailchimp account in your team, and you want everyone to be aligned on the best practices and structure and workflow management. So if this sounds helpful to you, or this sounds like something you want, you can request your training section using the link in the description below. And if you found this tutorial helpful, please do not forget to also subscribe, and also like this video, and also share with everyone that you think is going to need this video. All right, I will see you in the next video. Bye.